Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Alice Fong and welcome to my Healing Around the World project. I am here in London and today I have the opportunity to introduce Dr. Jessica Braidis, who moved here from Oregon recently.
I did.
Yes.
So I was a practicing primary care provider in the state of Oregon for a while, and my whole family recently picked up and moved to the UK. So now we're here, and we've been here for about 8 months now, and we're making our way through this really interesting international move as expats.
Great, wonderful. Was there any particular reason you decided on London? Your family?
Yeah, so my husband works in tech. London is a growing tech center, so we all moved here for his job, and I left mine to come here, and we moved our boys, and we thought it'd be really interesting to pick up and move away from what we found culturally normal, and demonstrate a new culture and a new country to our children, and then also we're able to travel to all of the countries that are in close proximity. So all of Europe is at our disposal. The education system is different, the healthcare system is different, everything is different. Certainly the political system is different, and so it's been a really interesting culture change for everyone, and we're all learning, and it's been really exciting and interesting.
Oh, interesting. So tell me about the healthcare system here. How does that work? What are the pros and cons of the system here?
Yeah, so I think as an American, it's really interesting to come here because so many people wanted a socialized healthcare system in America. I think a lot of people are upset with the lack of single payer and how it transitions and how confusing it is and who's eligible and who's ineligible and exclusions and all of these the business of healthcare. And it's really different here, of course, in the same way that it's similarly different in Canada and Australia, where they do have a socialized healthcare and they are taking care of their citizens in their community. I am not a citizen of the UK, but as a non-citizen, I am required to participate in the National Health Service, the NHS, here in the UK. So the NHS is available to every citizen born here, or someone who has become a citizen, even if they weren't born here. It's eligible to everyone who has a visa to be here. The NHS does have comprehensive health care. So that means that no one ever receives a bill for their health care. So whether it's an acute visit or an emergency service or a surgery that's deemed necessary, no one receives a bill for any of the health care that they receive here in the UK.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Great. But what are some of the limitations of the NHS?
So unfortunately, some of the limitations that come with that are it's government funded, which does mean that if we can't find a really clear identifiable problem, that you're not going to receive treatment because there doesn't seem to be a reason to give treatment when there isn't an identifiable problem. It also means that alternative types of medicine, things like acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, energy work, naturopathic care, these things are not covered under the NHS system because they just have not been bolstered by the community or demanded by the community to such an extent yet that the NHS has been covering them. So if you're looking for alternative care, you have to go outside of that system, which does mean that then you are required to pay for it to someone, right?
Right. Okay. Great. And so what kinds of patients or population do you see generally, and what types of conditions do you address?
So here in the UK, we don't have licensure for naturopathic doctors. Right. So that means that anyone who's ever sort of like dabbled in treatment of something with herbs or anything like that can call themselves a naturopath. And so while there are a lot of organizations pushing for more regulation and the raising of the standards for naturopathic practitioners, we're sort of not quite there yet, which means that I am slightly limited in what I can do. I can't prescribe medications, but the NHS is great for that, so I don't need to do that. Some of the things that I work with, particularly in London, we're talking about a crazy huge city, like a metropolis of a city, and everyone lives so tight together. We have a lot of air pollution because there's a lot of cars and traffic and not a lot of nature. If you can imagine, London is massive. It's a massive, massive city. And so one of the things that I work with are people who are really overworked, really overstressed, commuting long hours to get to and from work, working while they're commuting. So there's no downtime. Going out at night, there's a heavy drinking culture here in the UK. A lot of times a meeting at the end of a work day will transition right into a pub. So there's a lot of alcohol ingestion, there's a lot of stress, and a lot of lack of sleep, to be honest. Not to mention it's a city, so we're not exactly getting like fully dark lights and things like that. So I work with people who are trying to adjust their lifestyles, even just little tiny tweaks here and there, so that we can sort of get them that better quality of life, so they don't lose a whole weekend day not being able to spend it with their family because they're exhausted or burned out or need rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, great. And what about the people, since you said naturopathic care isn't covered by the NHS, is there any piece of advice you would want to offer them if they're also overworked but just unable to come see you?
Yeah, sure. So there's a couple of things. I do teach at a school here called the College of Natural Medicine here in London.
Oh, great.
So they do acupuncture and they do natural health care, like more naturopathic, for individuals who can't afford maybe a licensed provider like myself, but they do want to approach that care and they're willing to work with a student clinician. You can go see those students for a relatively reduced cost. It's like £25 maybe. So that's actually pretty good in terms of going outside of the NHS. The other recommendations that I always make with everyone are, number one, eat real food. It's got to be actual food. It can't be in a box and in packages, and it can be from time to time. I understand that that's really convenient for so many people, but ultimately actual food is the way to go. The other thing I say is improve your quality of sleep. Hands down, sleep is crucial. It's crucial to your mental, emotional, hormonal, physical health. It's crucial for everything. So if you're not sleeping well, that has to be addressed. There's tons of ways to look into doing that. So everything from reducing light and blue light emission in the evening hours, to darkening your room, to making it colder, to reducing noise. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I know it's hard in London because everyone lives on top of each other. If you have a noisy neighbor, go up there and tell them to stop it. It's not good.
Good advice.
The other thing I would say is alcohol definitely has an impact on all of those things. So sleep, stress, all of that. If you can reduce the amount of alcohol that you're drinking, even if it's just reduced by 1 every time you go out, that's better, right? So we have to cut down on the things that are really contributing to disrupted sleep and disrupted hormonal function and disruption of physical function, and that is one of them. So real food, actual, real, strong, quality sleep, and reducing alcohol is a really great way to just get started at all. And trying to find a practitioner who wants to work with you in the price point that you can work. So students are a good place to start if you really don't have access through your socialized insurance system or through any insurance system, and you want to still get this advice, but maybe at a lesser level.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. That was a great answer.
Oh, good.
Do you have any suggestions on, instead of going to the pub after work, any other ways to kind of just settle down after a long, busy day?
Yeah, settling down. So I think a lot of people could use their commute to sort of read or listen to music, or even a meditation app is a really good, like your commute is a great time for a meditation app. Pop your headphones in and zone out for a while, because that's what everyone's doing anyway on your commute. The other thing, I think, like going to the pub is great, that's fine, but then alternate. Have a drink, have a soda water, have a drink, have a glass of water. Like, do what you need to do to sort of stay hydrated and really sort of mitigate the effects of the alcohol that you're drinking. Otherwise, go ahead a workout class together. There's so many. Like, if I could plug Barry's Boot Camp for everyone, I would. It's the most amazing class. I'm there 4 times a week. My husband's there 4 times a week. It's a great place to go and relieve some stress after work, and everyone can go together. If you're like working with people that want to do that, then do that. So meditation, exercise, a little less alcohol. Those are my suggestions.
Those are great suggestions. Great. Was there anything else you'd like to share about your experience here today?
I think it's been really amazing to get out of my comfort zone and go live in another country. Yeah. I obviously don't have a language barrier. Everyone speaks English for the most part, so that's really helpful. But getting out of your comfort zone and seeing something new and changing your perspective has been really magical for me, and I think can be magical for other people. So if there's any way for you to change your perspective, and sort of shake up what you're doing if it's not working for you, whether that's your health or your personal life, then I think that's going to bring a lot of benefit to anyone who can do it.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for sitting down with me, Dr. Jessica Brandis.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks everyone for watching. Please share this video and other videos on our upcoming Healing Around the World projects. Great, thanks for watching.